Alright, so to get this started, we have the Whipsnakes for number one seed. They are the only team to go undefeated in the championship series. They went 4-0. I think their plus minus was about plus 16, plus 18, something like that. The first game that we have, August 4th, that's tomorrow, Tuesday, is a 5:30 game, Chrome Chaos. And then the next game after that is an 8 p.m. game, only on NBC Gold. Is a Redwoods Water Dog matchup, and then the final game, the only game on NBC Sports, is Atlas Archers. So we'll look at this from what is top to bottom. We have Redwoods Water Dogs. That'll be the 16th game. I don't know what the plus minus is. We'll bring this up real quick, but I'll probably go under, especially knowing the Redwoods and knowing the Water Dogs, their way of play. There aren't any plus minuses. It's really just who you think's gonna win. Whipsnakes right now at the favorites. Archers second in that. Chrome and Redwoods actually tied, which I find kind of amusing. And then we have Atlas at plus 1,000, and again Chaos and Water Dogs are both plus 2,000. Interesting enough, a couple teams tied up. Not too surprised to see who they are. But we'll take a quick look at these previews for the game. So starting off with Redwoods Water Dogs, like I said before. So we have two clubs who match up. So they didn't play in the beginning rounds. Water Dogs we gotta see if they can finally string an entire game together. They actually, surprisingly enough, have the same scores per game and the same scores against per game, 9.8 and 10.5 respectively. Their shooting percentage, Water Dogs have a better shooting percentage, but Redwoods kill it from two, man. 9 2-pointers this year. They both have the same amount of turnovers, 67, and their save percentage is the same. Something that I think is not clearly put in this is the face-off percentages. So we have Peyton Smith is the best Redwoods guy at 38%, while Drew Simino has been playing off his ass recently and has a 61 face-off percentage. I think that'll be a big difference. We have Tim Troutner in net for the Redwoods. He's obviously going to be the number one starter. No questions about that. But on the other side, I would guess you go with Matt DeLuca, because Matt DeLuca was in that the only time that you won, although that was against another winless team. So you could see Matt DeLuca play over Cipriano. We'll see how that goes, though. Defense on both sides, I definitely think the Redwoods have better defense. Overall, Garrett Apple, John Sexton, Harbison, from the short stick middies down to the poles, I think that they just have a better overall feel. I think that while BJ Grill, Brody Merrill do bring a good juice and experience, it's not going to be the same as the Redwoods, who already kind of welded together pretty well from last season. Sergio Perkovic is the leader in points compared to Kieran McArdle. McArdle had a sick game the other day. He'll definitely be someone that has a good matchup, but we'll see what happens with that, because really, when it comes down to it, the Redwoods don't score a lot of points because they just don't score a lot of goals. They have, as I said before, 9 2-pointers on the season. How that comes about is going to be super interesting compared to the Water Dogs. How the Water Dogs are actually pretty good at getting their, one-on-one matchups and scoring goals on their own. I think guys like Connor Kelly need to step up a little bit. And I think guys like McArdle are really pulling through for their team. But while you're looking at midfielders compared to attackmen, at least for the Redwoods really need, honestly, they need both sides to fucking step up. Because you have Sergio Perkovic with these 13 points, but you have him with, I think, fucking 6 twos, and then 1 goal, no assists. So it's really just he's got 6 bombs on the season, which is nice to have, obviously, but it's not enough for sure. And then you have Miles Jones, Ryder Garnsey, both guys who need to step it up. Only 8 points on the season, 6 goals for Ryder Garnsey. He started off slow, ended the season with 2 goals per game. But Miles Jones definitely needs to step it up. 3 goals and 1 2-pointer, so he's got 4 goals technically on the season, 3 assists. And not that that's not enough, but you're behind guys like fucking Brian Constable. I definitely thought he was gonna be better than him. John Haas, no offense to him, definitely thought he was gonna be better than him. Uh, Curtis Dixon is having himself a fucking hell of a year, so I'll give it up to him. He's been playing really well. But to be in the realm of a couple guys like Brad Smith, you kind of are like, what? Like, no offense to those guys, but Miles Jones is supposed to be around Justin Gutterding and Jordan Wolf and be where fucking Sergio Perkovic is. So definitely need some step up from him. Clark Pedersen has actually had Peterson has actually had a pretty decent year. 7 points, 3 goals, 4 assists. Not great, but something to work with. He has more fucking points than Connor Kelly. So as I was saying before, Connor Kelly, he only has 4 goals in the season, has 1 2-pointer, surprisingly enough, and then an assist. So we'll see what the fuck happens with that. Kieran McArdle, as I said before, he's fucking 5th in the league in points, 14, tied with Jordan Wolf. 8 goals, 6 assists. He has been fucking killing it, man. He has been doing really fucking well, especially, and he's been hot as of late, so that doesn't help. But those are the only 2 guys in the top 25 for the Water Dogs. The next guy, Joe Walters, another dude who needs to step it up. Only 1 goal in these only 1 goal, 1 2-pointer in these 4 games, so he has not been doing that great at all. Same thing with Matt Kavanaugh. Matt Kavanaugh is definitely having some struggle with losing Henningberg. Sorry, blanked on the name for a second. Losing Jules Henningberg, so that'll be tough for sure. It'll be interesting to see what they can do, if they mix anything up, if they bring another guy down there, if they switch it up. Maybe you put Garnsey at fucking midfield or something like that. Maybe you start getting some different looks. Maybe you you're definitely still throwing Serge and Miles Jones on that 2-way. Brent Adams scored on the last game, so maybe he has a little bit of an uptick in productivity, but it's nothing to be like sure of. There's still a lot of question marks, especially on that offensive end. On the defensive end, I feel pretty good about it. Just stay focused on the game, and I think the Redwoods will do fine. On the other side, now we have guys like Ben McIntosh, who has been playing pretty well. 6 goals. Maybe you want to see him get a little bit better with the assists, but he's putting the ball in the net, which is nice. Next we have Zach Currier. Zach Currier is someone who has been playing better as of recently, so nice to see him on the upswing as these last couple of games come around. Ryan Drenner, only 3 goals, 4 points in 4 games. That's definitely something that you'd want to see go up a little bit. Kind of rough with that. Brendan Gleeson, that's what I'm saying. Like, Kyle Harrison has the same amount of points as Brendan Gleeson. No offense, but I have no idea who Brendan Gleeson is, and this is my team. Like, I have no idea who you are. Respect to him, he's got I think he's got 2 goals and an assist. I gotta bring it back over here. I think he's got 2 goals and an assist. Yeah, this season. But Kyle Harrison has a goal and a 2-pointer. Like, come on, man. You gotta do better than that. And then this is where we have a whole bunch of dudes. Ben Reeve, Susanello, Drew Snyder, DiNapoli, and Westberg, all with 3 points. With a scatter of, how they get them. That group, guys who you want to see do a little bit better: Westberg, Drew Snyder, Ben Reeves, Susanello doing better in the last couple games. DiNapoli actually not half bad. He's been playing pretty well this last game. Had a 2-pointer. Had a fucking crazy 2-pointer. Great fucking crow hop. Drew Simino, like this is what I'm saying. Drew Simino has 2 points in 4 games. Brent Adams has 2 points in 4 games. Like, come on. Come on. He has more goals. Drew Simino has more goals than Brent Adams. You can't have that, especially if you're fucking Brent Adams. You gotta pull it up a little bit more. Same with fucking Rylan Reese. He's got a 2-pointer. That's the same amount of points as Brent Adams has. Like, come on, man. So tough overall for them. I mean, I could trash on these two teams all day for their lack of offensive productivity, but at the end of the day, it's a different feel to both teams. The Water Dogs are productive for like a quarter and a half, and then they just don't play the rest of the game. While on the other hand, the Redwoods are just empty the entire fucking game. They only score like fucking 2.5 goals per quarter. So it'll be interesting to see what goes down in the next couple games, but it'll definitely be tough for both teams to score the ball for sure. Next, we have two teams in complete opposite fucking directions, man. You know, you have Chrome going from one of the worst teams in the league to one of the best teams in the league, and then you have the Chaos going from one of the best teams in the league last season to dropping off at the end of the season to having that drop off just totally continue throughout this season. Their score per game looks nothing like their scores against per game, fairly close. Chrome scoring 12.5, a Chaos only scoring 8 goals a game. Score against is 11.3 and 10.8, Chrome and Chaos respectively. Almost the same amount of 2-pointers, nothing crazy. Still a decent amount of turnovers, or about the same amount of turnovers by each team. Save percentage, Chaos. Blaze Reardon has been playing a sick game. If Blaze Reardon comes out to play, he'll definitely fucking do some crazy fucking shit, man. They had played in the second game of group play. It was 13-9 Chrome. Pretty much the same story on both sides. The only difference was the face-off percentage was 72-28. Connor Farrell over Tommy Kelly. So Tommy Kelly has been struggling this season, 33%. Connor Farrell doing pretty well with a 58%. I personally, I want to see Tommy Kelly get back on the field. I like him. He's one of my favorite face-off guys in the league in general. So would be nice to see him kind of hop back on the wagon and get to it. Because if they can do that, now Blaze Reardon doesn't have to save fucking 21, 23 shots a night, and they're going to need that because while he does save 65% of his shots, John Galloway is no joke, man. 59% save percentage. So he, too, is a goaltender to fucking trifle with, man. Eddie Reese has been playing great for fucking Chrome. He's got 5 caused turnovers, while Jack Rowlett, crazy, I didn't know that he was only 23 years old. But he has 7 turnovers on this, caused turnovers on the season. So you'll definitely see, good defensemen on both sides of the ball. Point-wise, Jordan Wolf and Curtis Dixon, 14 and 12 points respectively. Both guys kind of scoring in different fashions. We'll take a quick look at that. We'll go back to the stats. So Wolf is like a top 5 scorer. He's got 14 points, 7 goals, 7 assists. He started off, as a goal scorer, and then as the season went on, he kind of figured out like, I don't have to only play this one type of game. And I'm sure he didn't just figure it out. I'm sure he knew the entire fucking time. But it was something that, his first game, he was like, all right, I'm going to score a whole bunch. And then the next couple games, he's like, I don't have to score a whole bunch. Kind of something that Matt Rambo kind of did. Scores when he really needs to, when the team really needs to put it on his back. So Jordan Wolf, an invaluable player for the Chrome. Justin Gutterding as well started off a little slow, but still ended up with 8 goals, 4 assists. He played great as well as the time ticked down. Same thing, same stat line for Curtis Dixon. He played fucking amazing. He was the best player on fucking Chaos. If you watch their games, Curtis Dixon was definitely talked about throughout it. Connor Fields, a bit of a lackluster year. 6 goals, which I guess is nothing to sneeze at, but only 7 points. You kind of wished a little bit more. Jordan McIntosh with the same stat line. Nothing against Jordan McIntosh, but I kind of expected a little bit more from Connor Fields than Jordan McIntosh, and I don't think that's wrong to say. Josh Byrne having himself a pretty good season. He's got 5 goals, so not too bad on that part. He has been not super productive. The ball movement isn't great, but the ball movement's never really been structurally great for them. But this ball movement on their transition play has always been really good. But they've kind of been losing that lately. Even with all those clean saves by Blaze Reardon, but it would be nice to see a little bit more ball movement, a little bit better offensive cohesiveness would be nice. Sergio Salcido, 4 goals. He's a no joke guy. Will Haas has 3 goals and assists. Jake Ficaro, I could see having a bit of a more valuable role. He comes down, and when he scores, he usually looks pretty fucking good, man. So, um, overall, Jesse King having himself a good season, 5 goals. He's a little bit slept on. Matt Gaudette, I think if he's able to get underneath the skin like he did in that second game, I think that they could come away with the win again. I think they come away with the win no matter what. Let me get this straight. I think that they come away with the win no matter what. But I think that it definitely helps if they're able to continue that kind of gnawing at them. So that's pretty much it for that one. Keys of the game are definitely face off. Would definitely like to see better ball movement by Chaos, but I would like to see them push their strength of transitional goal scoring. While with the Chrome, I think they know what they are. Great goaltending and great offensive attack, especially by their attackmen. And then the last game of the night, I don't know what the over-unders of this game are, but every single game I have is going to be under. If the Whip Snakes aren't playing, I don't think it's going to go over. So good matchup here. This is a rematch from Game 4, which was actually really fucking close. So they had, and then Archers won by 1. So it'll be a nice revenge game. Grant Ament is going to be a huge fucking player in this game, obviously. But it'll be nice to see that kind of work back by Brian Constable when that comes down to it. Those two guys have been pretty much more or less tick for tack in their 1-2. It's almost like a... it's almost like a... Nah, that's a bad comparison. I was going to say like a John Tavares, Victor Hedman type of draft, first, second. Like great production by the first guy, and then also great production, but just in different ways by the second guy. I guess you could kind of compare because it's that offensive defensive guy, yeah. But those two are foolproof shit. The faceoffs were pretty even in this game. Turnovers pretty even, assists pretty even. Archers just had a much better shot percentage of scoring. Archers score about 2 more goals a game, but they give up about the same amount of goals against per game, 11.5 and 11.8. Archers Atlas respectively. Not too many 2-pointers by either team, about the same amount of turnovers, about the same save percentage for this season. So you have, obviously, fucking Grant Ament on one side with 17 points. I think that's tied for second in the league. And you have Rob Pennell on the other side with 11 points, leading the team. Not great. But when you watch him play, he definitely has a good command for this team in such times that are fucking ridiculous. Cade Van Raphorst, whatever the fuck you say his name. Sorry. But that's a Raaphorst. So that's a fucked up name right there. So he has the most caused turnovers in the league. So you'll see him out there maybe on immense. You try to get the rookie uncomfortable, see what you can do against him, and then Matt McMahon on the other side of the for the Archers with 7 caused turnovers. You'll hear his name a lot, so you'll see him. Um, but I wouldn't expect this to be particularly a defensive game. Face-off wise, Stephen Kelly 51%, Trevor Baptiste 52%. So you're really looking at a 50-50 game. I believe there was another individual who took face-offs for the Archers. I forget his name off the top of my head. And then this is going to be the craziest part of the entire thing. Is do you go with Adam Gittleman or Drew Adams in net? They've been splitting it so far. They have pretty much the same numbers on the season, and then Jack Concannon is obviously going to be in the game for the other side on the other side of this. So that'll be an interesting fucking thing overall. I don't even know how to explain it, but I definitely think that the Archers are gonna come out, pretty strong. I think that they won't be fucking around at all. I think they know their game better than the Atlas knows their game, because their offense at least is just ridiculous. They score goals with 52 seconds on the shot clock and 1 second left on the shot clock. They use the whole 52 seconds. They are relentless with getting shots off and working their game and knowing how to being patient with the ball, not working crazy in transition if they don't have to. The only thing they can run deep into shot clocks, and it could take them a little bit of time to get their offense set up in the first place, and their transition and their substitution game might run them a little late. But Grant Amends, 6 goals, 11 assists. He is just something else, man. Who's the other team? Atlas. So you have Rob Pennell, 3 goals, 8 assists. I would like to see him score a little bit more. Brian Constable, though, 6 goals on the season, 1 2-pointer. He has been fucking lights out, man. He has been an extremely good individual. It's really been a pleasure to see him play. Eric Law, Romar Dennis, Ryan Brown, all with 6 points, all in different fashions. Eric Law, 5 goals. It'd be nice to see him scored a couple goals in the next game. Romar Dennis, I think, needs to keep it going, because he's been doing really good in that transition game, scoring from either 2-pointer or being able to run down the field with a head of steam and scoring. And then Ryan Brown, no complaints from him. 6 goals on the season. Would like to see him maybe. He's got a good catch and shoot, especially from that crease area. Someone who you definitely would like to see score more, because he has the same amount of points as John Crawley, Connor Busick, and Chris Cloutier is fucking Paul Rabel. He's got 1 goal and 3 assists. Only 1 goal on the season. You need your fucking captain to be way better than that. On the flip side of this, Chris Cloutier looks like he's been working with the ironworkers for 25 years, and looks like he's been killing a 6-pack for the fucking past 20 years. But he still has it, man. That guy's a fucking tank, man. I love him. Shout out to him. He's the fucking homie. But he looks fucking chubby as shit, but he's still fucking playing pretty well, man. He's still getting to the cage. He's got 4 goals, so can't mock it till you try, you know what I mean? Connor Busick again, pretty good. 2-2, not horrible. I mean, not great, but not horrible. It's alright. Ian McKay, Joey Sankey, both with also 4 points. Ian McKay, 1-1-1 for a goal, 2-pointer, and assist, while Joey Sankey has 2. Joey Sankey's been playing a lot better recently. He's a good role player on that team. Who would have thought that he would have been a fucking role player, man? He was the man when he was on the Redwoods, which is interesting that the Redwoods, they had Westberg taken away, Carol Lunas taken away for the offensive and LSM, and then Joey Sankey telling away from that midi position. So it's kind of rough, you had a piece taken from every position. Karolinus was tough to get rid of, but they took the Water Dogs took him, but you haven't really seen him play too much. But it's tough to see the other two guys play because they're playing, not great but not half bad. But those role players would have been great to have in this position where you need a guy to step up with. I'm sorry, I'm blanking on the name again. Fucking Jules Henningberg out. So tough to see that. Where were we? Josh Courier looking pretty good. Not as good as the other Courier though. And then Craig Chick, Joel Tinney, Trevor Baptiste, all with 1 point. So at this point, we're getting into the nitty gritty. But now oh shit. Let's go back to the first page. Oh, Stephen Kelly, was that the guy who I said? It was Stephen Kelly and Brennan Fowler are 51 and 48%. Respectively. So you'll see both of them go up against Baptiste, that two-headed monster. Semino and Withers, you'll see them two for the Water Dogs going up against the Redwoods. I don't expect the Redwoods to win more than 25% of their face-offs, so that'll be a long day. And then, luckily, we won't have to look at Nardella for the rest of that fucking time. So now save percentage-wise, we have Adel Gittelman and Drew Adams. Drew Adams with 47%, Adam Gittelman with 60%. Gittelman has 60 saves, while Adams has 24 saves. Who fucking knows what they're gonna do, man? They've been splitting the games, I'm pretty sure, every fucking time. Let's take a look at that last game real quick. But I'm pretty sure they've been splitting the games every single time. And it's just been, it's been pretty ridiculous that it's still going on. Now, I wouldn't have thought that, fucking, that in the end of, like, the 10th day of group play that they'd still be out here splitting it. Yeah, they still split it. In the last game, they both had 47% save percentage. So who knows what's going to happen there. If you're going into, maybe, I don't know, you have one game. And it's like, I think because it was, that game it's the same. And then in this game, Gittelman has a 40% save percentage, but he only sees 5 shots. While Drew Adams has a 33, he has 4 saves and 8 goals against. Not a great game. But again, like, Gittelman wasn't even tested in that first half. And then Drew Adams came out with his team flat in front of him. So who knows what's going to go off that. And then in the other game, 60%, 58% Adams with Drew Adams with a bit of the advantage on that one. So, if you're splitting hairs like that, let's take this last look at the Water Dog game. Gittelman with a 91% save percentage, and then with 10 saves, and then Adams with a 50%, 6 saves, 6 goals against. So, personally, I would give it to Gittelman. I'm a Gittelman fan. I think he's better. I think the team plays a little bit better in front of him. But what the fuck do I know, man? It'll be interesting to see, what the fuck goes down. I'm excited to see it. My predictions for sure are Chrome, Redwoods, and Archers. Unders for all. I think the, typical keys to the game. Chrome's going to win a lot of face-offs, so you'll need Blaze Reardon to be great. Chrome's attack, you're going to have to be able to find out how the fuck to keep the ball out of Wolf's hand, because if it goes into Wolf's hand, it'll probably go to someone else and get in the back of the net. On the other hand, Chaos just needs to figure out what the fuck is wrong with them. I don't think that they win, though. Unfortunately, I think that TK continues to struggle at the face-off. And I think that from that point on, it kind of just gonna be tough to move on. Redwoods, Water Dogs, Redwoods, I think it all depends on if if their midfielders, pull through. Because I think Garnsey's been playing a lot better. Cav needs to step his game up, but then the entire midfield needs to step their game up. Perk has been stepping it up, so shout out to him. Good for you. But everyone else needs to fucking show up, man. Water Dogs, on the other hand, are going to dominate at the face-off X. I think their two-headed monster is going to destroy the two-headed piece of shit that the Redwoods have, with Peyton Smith and the guy who I can't pronounce his last name. I really can't, come on, man. I really can't pronounce your last name. You gotta get that shit changed or something. But again, consistency for the Water Dogs. I would like to see them put together a full game of start to finish of just good, consistent playing. I think their defense has it pretty well together. I think their goaltending. I think DeLuca might be the answer, but we'll see what happens with that. Because I'm going to expect that he gets to start, and then Archer's Atlas. It's gonna. How do you handle their two-headed monster on attack and midfield of Tom Schreiber and Grant Ament? What the fuck do you do with that, man? That's a tough task. I don't think the Atlas is up to it. On the other side, Atlas, I think it's I don't really know what the fuck Atlas has to do. They don't give up a whole bunch of goals. Paul Rabel, I guess. If Paul Rabel shows up, I think that they have a fucking hell of a day. The only team that we didn't speak about today, which I'm going to go over quickly, just because it's fun to go over, just because I like doing it, is the fucking Whip Snakes, man. So if you look at the standings and the stats of everything, attack, top players, Matt Rambo, Zed Williams. Defense, actually there are no Whip Snakes. Midfielders, John Haas, Mike Chanenchuk, face-off, Joseph Nardella by a fucking lap and a half above everybody else. LSM, Michael Earnhardt, second best in the league statistically. And then goaltending, Kyle Bernlohr, right down there, but not too far behind. Second best in save percentage, almost as good as Blaze Reardon. So, you have guys goaltending just as good as anyone else in the league, to be honest. Blaze Reardon has been putting the fucking team on his back, but Kyle Bernlohr has been having a hell of a season himself. And just because his team doesn't suck in front of him doesn't mean that I should really take too much away from it. I still would give the trophy of best goaltender to Blaze Reardon because I think that he deserves it. I think that he's the only reason why the Chaos even have a chance. But I think Kyle Bernlohr would probably be pretty tight, and I think that you can definitely make a good case for why he also deserves it. But that's splitting hairs right there. LSM, Michael Earnhardt is just as good as anybody else in the game at getting ground balls, but you know why he has so many fucking ground balls? You know why he has so many fucking ground balls? Is because Joseph Nardella is out here 70 of 93, 75% of face-offs, 42 ground balls. There's no one else above 21. No one else is above 21. And he's got 4 points. He's got as many points as like half of the fucking Redwoods. And then on the other side, Chaney has been having a quiet season, second most points amongst midfielders. John Haas, you barely even hear about him with all the other big names, fucking tied with Chaney. Defense, it's kind of interesting not to see anyone else on this from close to you wise, but I guess because you don't have the ball on your side at all, that kind of goes away a little bit. And then no need to even talk about Matt Rambo, former MVP. Shows that he still has it, especially last game where he had 10 points, 2 goals, 8 assists. And then you have Zed Williams, who is like the man, bro. He is the man. I don't even know where to begin with him, man. I think he was in the entry draft. I don't remember when he was picked, but 14 goals. Holy shit. He has been playing his ass off. So whoever ends up playing them, let's take a quick look at the whatever fuck it's called. The fucking bracket. So they will, oh my god, they'll verse either the Redwoods or the Water Dogs. So that'll be tough. And then the winner of, which I think this is kind of bullshit. I think that they shouldn't match it up like this. But, like, because if Chaos wins, I think Chaos should have to go and fucking play the Whip Snakes. Get the fuck out of here. You're a 7th seed. Go play the number 1 seed. If the Redwoods win and the fucking Archers win, they should play each other. Fuck that. What the fuck? But the winner of the Redwoods Water Dogs game will go on August 6th and play the Whip Snakes in the 18th game of the championship series. On the other side, here you'll probably have Chrome and Archers play each other. I think Archers come away with that one. It'll probably be Whip Snakes, Archers, and I think that I would put my money on the Archers because I like that underdog status. I think that they have something to prove more than anyone else in this fucking league right now, because they are playing second fiddle right now to the Whip Snakes. Plus 300, I would take that fucking bet. I'd pay $400,000 if I had it. I'm putting that down, motherfucker. So I'm excited for this shit to finally get going. Obviously, we'll have updates. I'll keep on going. We'll keep fucking doing this shit. 37 minutes, man. It feels like I've been talking for fucking 2 seconds. But excited for this shit, man. I am super excited for this shit. And I can't wait to watch the Islanders tomorrow. I can't wait to watch the fucking Redwoods tomorrow. I can't wait to watch the Archers tomorrow. I can't wait to watch the fucking Chrome tomorrow. I am super excited for this shit. And thank God sports are back. Thank God.